We are looking at the APA code made in 2010. That is part of our ethical decree. We're going to take a look at AACC code, um, especially law and ethics in counseling or psychotherapy, we can say. But we want to just at the first class, ethical decree, we didn't finish the APAs. That must be the most popular and has I think the highest authority in psychotherapy area. So we wanna just take a look at the APA code related in ethics or laws. So I think we finished principle B, I think. Oh yeah, C. We did finish C, so we are just reaching to principle D, and we are just try to finish this ethical decree today, and we're gonna move on to the next title. So principle D is justice. Justice has to do with the therapist's responsibility to treat people fairly, to avoid prejudice and bias, and to be particularly sensitive to protecting the rights of the vulnerable among us. Justice, that is a huge term we can think. But justice is pretty hard to take care because when the term is big, like love, peace, justice, something like that, because the term is huge, we can approach those terms in many ways. And justice is the same thing. So some people can wonder, we can take care of justice in psychotherapy area, but as it says, justice is very important for the therapist too, because recently in the America, we just saw George Floyd, his death by 4 police officers, especially a police officer pressed his neck until he died by choking. All people can know and see when somebody depress my neck by me with whole body weight and pressing down, many times, I can't breathe too. No one can breathe, and even George Floyd said, I can't breathe. But the police officer just kept on going to press his neck, and he died. Because of that, lots of people in many cities in USA protested for that, and they just shouted Black Lives Matter. Because especially Caucasian police officers or other Caucasian civilians, those are crazy people, and they treated black people, African American people, very bad ways and cruel ways. Back in late 1980s, I think that's 1984, we had little riots. That at that time, a guy just ran away by his car, and lots of police officers chased him and his car, and eventually he just yielded to police officers got the, I think 4 or 5 police officers just beating, even though he yielded, and then he got beaten by, brutally, and then the court sentenced the police officers not guilty. That's crazy. Somebody hit you and the batterer got not guilty. Who can understand that? Who can accept that kind of laws, and who can accept that kind of sentences or judgment? That was crazy, and LA riots, happened because lots of African Americans and other peoples are joined to the protestings, and police officers only protected the Beverly Hills, the white rich people's town, but they never just protected the Koreatown. So the protesters just abused Koreatown, and lots of, I think almost all shops and businesses got robbed and burned, and there were shootings each other's, and that was crazy. But that can be that kind of things can be happen, even though the real happening things can be different, but those kind of discriminations and unfair relationships or treatments can be happened in counseling and psychotherapy area too. If therapists don't aware of that kind of a thing, as therapists, we have to take care of vulnerable people among us. As the last sentence says, we have lots of vulnerable people among us. They are hidden or revealed, opened, and we, especially the therapists, have to support them, take care of them. But what if a therapist has biased opinions and views on other ethnic groups or something like that? And then the therapist has many chances to discriminate and treat them different ways. The therapist, had provided as counselors or therapists, then there is not justice. There is not justice. So how we can treat others fairly? No matter what their clients' race, ethnicity, or languages, or skin colors, or their status, social status, or sexual status, then I believe those therapists are not therapists. They are another abusers. They are another batterers, mentally, spiritually. So APA code is mentioning that kind of thing under the name of justice. So that is pretty important as therapists or counselors. So justice, that is a big term for therapists and counselors, any caregivers, including physically or mentally or spiritually. Okay. No one wants to be treated different or inferior way or lower way or something wrong way So as human beings, we have rights to get proper and adequate and right treatments from caregivers, counselors, and therapists. So therapists have to try to be fair, and they have to learn what the justice is, and they have to try to avoid prejudice and bias. Okay, because when they just meet and provide therapies and counselings, their clients are expecting something good and the best help from those people. That's why they are paying, and that's why they are spending their times when they are vulnerable. Okay. Principle E is respect for people's rights and dignity. This principle charges that therapists should seek to respect the worth of people with whom they work, including the person's right to privacy, confidentiality, and self-determination. Again, privacy, confidentiality, and self-determination. Again, the principle places a special emphasis on remembering to respect the rights and dignity of those who are particularly vulnerable and whose ability to make autonomous decisions is compromised by physical, mental, or other factors. In addition to the justice, the counselors are supposed to respect people's right and dignity. So when they give counselings or psychotherapies to their clients, they have to remember that those clients and their clients who are paying for the service, the therapists or caregivers have to keep in their minds that their clients have human rights and dignity. So when they provide psychotherapies or counselings, they are not supposed to despise those people, their clients. They are not supposed to treat their clients as child or as immature people or something like that. Without that, those therapists are not supposed to do their service to those people, because when they think they are mature, they know many things, they got so many cases and researches. What if those people are pretending in a way or out of a way that they something better than their clients or something like that? Those therapists can direct this and that, or just judge early and determine early, and then just order something earlier than the reality. I mean, until they reach certain point that they can decide what they can do for their clients, they're not supposed to decide or opinionated or judge earlier. So then, if their clients, they don't have enough chance to open their hearts totally, so they so their therapists can understand them. Well, for example, the medical doctors, when you see your when your family doctors, what if you say I have a fever, and you are about to explain what's going on in your body as much as you can, because sometimes you can't explain what's going on and you don't know what's going on actually. You can just notice something different like fever or shivering or chilling or stomach ache, something like that. You can say, and you can just explain what's going on in your body as much as you can. But what if you say, "Oh, I have a fever," and as soon as your family doctor, heard that, what if your family doctor said, "That's cold. You caught a cold." Then can you believe it? Can you believe it? Can you trust your doctor? But the same things are happening in psychotherapies too. So, listening to their clients is the basic step for providing psychotherapy services or counseling services. But some people are, honestly, psychotherapists and counselings are, some people are not mature enough. They have some certain disorders in their body and mind and spirits. So we can help, and we hope that we can help. So we meet the counselors and psychotherapists, but hard to say, but we have to think about that they can be wrong too. It is sad. But having and possessing the very academic higher degree like PsyD or Doctor of Psychology or psychotherapist, excuse me. But it doesn't guarantee that they are mature enough. It doesn't guarantee that they are fair and justice and right. It's sad, but they are human beings too. They can be wrong. Like lots of medical doctors, do something wrong, and sometimes they just let their patients die, or many things can be happening. And that is happening, and those things are happening in the kind of things are happening inside counseling centers too. That's why psychotherapists and counselors are supposed to learn and keep in their mind that what's the law and ethics. And respecting people's right and dignity is very important. Unless they cannot provide proper service, right? So that is about the principle E. So we wanna just move on to the next topic. Actually, that's the second class topic. So that is about. That is about let me explain this. That is about in the second class we want to just take care of the vital counseling. But we want to just take a look a little bit more about, what's happened in counseling background. Okay, here you go. Many of these aspirational ideas are rooted at least in part in a Judeo-Christian tradition. APA code we had a look at. And then the ethical degrees are based on, mostly Judeo-Christian tradition. Because religion, especially the Judeo-Christian or Christian tradition has 2,000 years old history, and that is way longer than psychotherapy history and counseling history. So when they set certain laws and ethics or codes, they have to have something before that, and the foundations and basic kind of common understandings, and then they develop and form those kind of codes and laws. So we took a look some degrees like APAs and some other things, but those are based on Judeo-Christian tradition. Though this may not always be self-evident. For Christians in the mental health professions, it may also be useful to consider some explicitly Christian ideas that seem pertinent to the ethical practice of psychotherapy and counseling. Okay, number one is counseling as a calling. Okay, that is kind of a Christian background. APA codes, those are not Christian codes, but we can see those codes without Christian tradition. It's hard to explain those kind of secular things because Christians have lots of laws and ethics in many areas, and Christian counseling or secular counseling have their own codes and laws based on Christian, understandings. But especially we want to focus on the Christian background in counseling and ethical degree. So the first one is counseling as a calling. That means when you provide counseling services and psychotherapy services, that means that as counselors and as psychotherapists, what you are providing and your position, your status as psychotherapists or counselors, that job is a calling. That job is a calling. Actually, Christians are thinking that whatever jobs they have, they are thinking that they got those jobs from God. So that means as cleaners, as doctors, and as professors or as businessmen, they work those things they are involved in and making money as their jobs or something else, and then they think they are supposed to think that they got those jobs from God, and as long as they think they are Christians, they know they have to do their best and do right those things, cause Christians are thinking that they are Christians, children of God, and what they are doing is doing as children of God. So they are supposed to glorify the Lord, by their activities, their jobs. So counseling is their calling. Okay, historically, in Western society, many professions were at one time viewed as forms of ministry. Many Christian therapists carry this tradition forward, experiencing their involvement in work of counseling as a calling, and seeing their work not as a job but as a vocation of service. Job, vocation, I don't think that there is a big difference. We just can say everything what we are doing as Christians, those are callings, simple. Vocation or job. Those are our jobs. But vocation means God expects something good and better or the best from us. Okay? Simple. So when we provide our services to people, then we are supposed to do our best and for the right service, for the better service or the best service, as much as we can, and with the spirit that we love God and our neighbor. Okay, so that is quite important for the Christians. Second is stewardship of talents. Well, we got our talents as soccer players, football players, rugby players, and all blacks in New Zealand teams. That's the best team ever I like. And actually they are the best, I think. They are not always the first place, but I just like them. And a New Zealand friend gave me, all black teams cap, which is good. Stewardship of talents. In addition to viewing counseling as a calling, we have lots of talents, and we think as Christians, we think we got those talents. Those talents are given by God, so we want to just take care of it, we want to just develop it, and we want to just use it for the best result. Okay? So stewardship of talents means because we have lots of the talents, we have responsibilities of what we got from God. Okay? So what if I got a talent, talent as a soccer player, but if I don't do my best for that, because only talent, you have a talent as a soccer player, but if you don't develop it, you don't practice it, you don't train yourself, how can you can be a, you can be a nice player ever. But talent means I have a talent as a soccer player, and this guy doesn't have a talent, but he likes soccer player, but he trained and practiced a lot. So we both are soccer players, but if we practice and train the same way, who's gonna play soccer well or better? Me, because I have a talent. So there is difference. Condoleezza Rice, she was Minister of Defense, I think, in the United States. When she was young, she used to learn playing piano, and one day she saw about the same age little girl were playing a piano. And Condoleezza Rice got shocked because her friend, the little girl, is playing the piano very well. That's overwhelming Condoleezza Rice, and she decided not to play the piano and be the pianist or something like that, because she knew that if she just practiced the playing piano, for the same way, under the same teacher, and for the same hours, she understood that she cannot catch up with her. So she gave up and she just focused on studying because she knew that she got a talent on studying and something else related with studying or academic works. So, so understanding what we have is great way that we can be confident in our work, in our activities, in our jobs, and that can be our special area, and that's gonna be very important. The stewardship of the talents is very important. In addition to viewing counseling as a calling, a Christian perspective views one's talent, including professional talents, as a gift from God to be used in service to others. As such, the gift is a sacred trust, and the recipient is expected to prove faithful to that trust. Thus, in training and service, the professional is called to the highest standards of preparation, competence, and practice. In a real sense, the work of counseling can be seen as an extension of Christ's healing ministry. So, as counselors and as Christian counselors, when we help others by counseling and psychotherapies, that is part of Jesus' healing ministry. So actually, we are doing our own ministries, helping others, and help them to be healed from their mental and spiritual problems. That's what Jesus did. Jesus didn't do only show something miraculous things like feeding 5,000 people with 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread, and healed the blind and the lepers, but then he healed their bodies, minds, spirits, and social relationships. Because once they got a problem physically or mentally, they were supposed to separate from their families and neighbors, friends, society. Okay? So in that sense, Christians are, especially Christian therapists, are accepting their vocations, their callings. So they are supposed to do their best for providing the healing. So that is the stewardship of the talents. Number 3, the comprehensive nature of the reign of God. The reign of God. That is, we acknowledge and trust and believe God is reigning. Okay? God reigns everything. For Christians, the kingdom of God constitutes the primary ethical community. So Christians are supposed to do something Christian things in their real lives, not only in their churches. Okay? Christians are not Christians only in their churches, but in their societies, in their jobs, in their homes, in their communities, in their nations. The Christian faith makes the bold assertion that God's reign extends into all aspects of life, Christian life of commission. This includes the professional life. God is as present with us in the therapy room as when we are at church. He is present when we make business decisions about our professional practice. he is concerned with the philosophies that inform our therapies and our ethical decisions. So God is God in the church, in the families, in the homes, in the society, in the counseling rooms, counseling centers, or psychotherapy centers. Well, Christians know it, but they don't aware of it in their every lives. That makes those Christians, not all, but those Christians, some Christians do something different that they know. Well, knowing God is omnipresence and omniscience, and He knows everything, and He's there, He's everywhere, means depressing and oppressing us. We got lots of burdens because He is everywhere. He can. But in other words, He is watching us to help, to support, to encourage, to start it. Okay. So we have both. We have to do our jobs done right, and at the same time, we do, something better, and provide the best psychotherapy and services to our clients. This is a source of great comfort. It makes clear God's desire to be involved in our present realities, encouraging and supporting us, and it affirms God's care and love for us in the midst of the difficult, stressful decisions we face. It also confronts us with the fact that we cannot separate our faith from our vocation when it is convenient for us to do so. God challenges us to make our decisions with more than ourselves in mind. We must avoid the temptation to live as if God's standards are fine for ecclesiastical circles, but impractical for the world of complicated client issues or the competitive world of the counseling business. To do so is to live as if our faith is important in the world we live in, and it leaves us open to hypocrisy in our thinking and our behavior. So, Christians, please, we are supposed to aware that God is reigning and God is everywhere. God knows everything. So, as Christians, we want to just provide right, justice, adequate, proper psychotherapy and counseling services. Humanity. That is another big topic we have to think about. Sin is every real presence in our world. As Romans 3:23 says, sin is a very real presence. Okay? Sin is a real thing. Generally forgotten in most professional cause, it is nevertheless an extremely important reality to which we are all prone. Though traditional codes have done little to remind us of the presence of the same, psychology has certainly documented some of its characteristic patterns. Dr. Mengmin is a psychologist, and I think he used to teach in Wheaton College, I think. Attribution theory, for example, recognizes that human beings tend to make excuses and find extenuating circumstances for their own mistakes while blaming other people for theirs. We readily take responsibility for success even when it isn't justified, but we tend to blame our failures on others. Rationalization, one of the number of psychodynamic defense mechanisms, illuminates our tendency to justify our unaccountable behaviors, attitudes, and beliefs. So, medical doctors can make mistakes. Sometimes they kill people unintentionally, okay, by mistakes. That is happening right now in many places, including America. Psychotherapists are making mistakes too. They analyze their clients' mental situations, mental conditions, and spiritual conditions wrongly, and prescribe something wrong. Pastors, they sometimes don't understand what's going on in their church members and provide the wrong pastoral counselings and biased counselings. Wrong or bad, spiritual directions. Then what are you gonna do? You wanna just defend yourself eagerly, so you wanna just escape from your responsibilities, or you wanna just say sorry and confess what you've done, or something like that. Maybe you can lose your license. But honesty is the best policy, and you have to admit your mistakes and failures sometimes. But when you do that, you have to do it. Psychotherapists and counselors are not just chatting with their clients. They are healers. They are supposed to be healers. They are supposed to be, support their clients to be healed. They sometimes have to prescribe the medicines, but that is limited to most states in the USA. Excuse me. So, if we don't accept that we made mistakes, if we don't accept that we can make mistakes, then we got in trouble, because that's telling a lie and breaking one of the 10 Commandments. So when we met, the humility, but the humility, humbleness is very important for the psychotherapist. We need to be humble. Maybe we learned and we studied, way more than our clients, but it doesn't guarantee that we know our clients' situations and conditions right. And even though we know their conditions and situations right, our therapies and counselings can be wrong. The way of counseling, the method and techniques or skills can be wrong. But at the same time, the contents can be wrong too. So we need to be humble. Because when we are humble, we can listen to our clients' stories more carefully, more deeply. And we are supposed to be humble to analyze and provide the best way to solve their problems. Humility. The reality of the thing calls professionals to practice the art and science of therapy with humility. Ethical therapists remain resilient to their own human limitations and avoid the notion that their professional standing, knowledge, or their religious beliefs ever fully inoculate them from error. So the more humble we are, the less mistakes we can make. You know what? There are lots of arrogance. There are lots of blockers in medical area, in counseling, in political area, in academic area. Okay, in authority areas, including police officers, prosecutors, courts, judges. So Jesus was humble, and we are supposed to be humble too, because we are Christians. Because we are Christians and we acknowledge God reigns everything, and we are supposed to be humble. Humble, that does not mean that we need to be humble like this. We want to have a confidence. We want to have confidence, but we can have confidence and at the same time humility too. Those are not contract. Okay? But the arrogance is opposite with humility. And that's not Christian way. Okay? If you know something right, you are supposed to be confident in your knowledge. You don't have to, I don't know if that is right or wrong. It's not humble, okay? That is vague. Okay? That is vague. Oh, you can do this or that. It's up to you. That kind of attitude is not humble. If you know this is right, you have to tell this is right. You can fix it if you know that is not right, later on. But as long as you know something right, you have to say that is right. 1 plus 1 is 2. So you need to say the answer is 2. But you don't have to say, well, it can be 2 or 1 or what. That's not humble. Okay? Just think about it. Lots of pastors and Christians show their humbleness by their body also. Oh yes, you are right. Do you think they are humble? Their bodies and body languages are humble, but I don't know what they have, because that's why God says people are looking at just what they are saying, the outer fits or something like that, but God is looking at our center. He knows what's going on in our heart and spirits. Number 5, the image of God in humanity. The Bible states that each person is created in the image of God. Okay, that's what's so called Imago Dei. Imago Dei, God's image. So the Genesis says that God created us with His image. Okay? God, Jesus, Holy Spirit's image. I'm not sure God looks like me, but the image must be the everything. Something, I don't know, but the image. Okay? Image. As such, human beings have a special quality, a uniqueness among creatures. Yes. The message of God never, tells that He created, a snake with His image also. Only He told us that God created people with His image. The message of the scripture is that each person is inestimable value to God, because I have God's image in me. Okay, God created me with His image. That means in me there is God's image. Okay, that because of it, we can say that because I have God's image, in a certain way, because I have God's image, I am very valuable person. Okay? Because I have God's image in me. Okay? And by extension to us as therapists, these understandings undergird our responsibility to practice beneficence and non-maleficence toward the people we serve, and a special obligation to respect the dignity and worth of our clients. Okay? Principle, no matter their condition or social standing. Do you think you have God's image in you because God created you with His image? Yes. I have God's image. God created me with His image. So, yes. What about homeless on the streets? There are more than 50,000 homeless in LA, downtown LA, or in an LA area. Do you think those people have God's image? Do you think the Caucasians or European Americans have God's image? Yes. Do you think African American people have God's image? Yes. Chinese, Koreans, Japanese. Some Asian people they got attacked by people in Europe, in America, on the bus, on the street, because those people are thinking that a coronavirus opened and spread by those Asian people. I'm not sure it happened that way. Honestly, I'm not sure who spread that. I think, lots of more Caucasians are spreading coronavirus in the United States. That's what I'm thinking, because they are majorities and they are moving here and there without masks. Asians are wearing masks a lot. Asians? I don't know. I don't know how happened the coronavirus, but I'm pretty sure who are spreading those virus to others. And I can spread that virus to others when I got the virus. Unintentionally. If I know that I'm not gonna, move out. I'm gonna just lock in my house or lock in a hotel or whatever. So secure my families and my neighbors and others. There are some election campaigns in here and there, and massive people are gathering together. I think they are spreading coronavirus to others. If they know there are some possibilities, but they are doing that, they are guilty. I don't think that those people can be Christians. I think Christians are not supposed to do that. We don't want to make other people danger. Right? We can kill others by spreading coronavirus. So, because we have God's image in us, we know that we are very valuable people. And at the same time, we have to admit that our neighbors and all other peoples have ultimate value because they have God's image in them. Okay? As Christians, if we know that, if we understand that, we have to do our best to help others, because those people, whether they are Christians or not, whether they are rich or poor, whether they have, different social status or sexual status, they are valuable. Okay? We can count how much value they have, but it doesn't matter because they have image of God. Not because they have money or whatever. They are valuable people, and we are supposed to help and support and provide the best service we can do to those people who have image of God. Okay. In embracing our ethical mandate, 15th act, in the narrative of the New Testament, Jesus Christ explicitly identifies himself with those who are weak or in need, and proclaims also that those who care for people like that have, in fact, cared for them. Okay. So that's what Jesus did. He didn't discriminate people. He scolded people who are arrogant, who oppress others, who don't love others, but pretend that they love God. Maybe even though they love God, if they don't love their neighbors, that is the opposite cause. I have the image of God, but he has the image of God, but I love God. If I love God, I am supposed to love our neighbor, my neighbor, because the person is beloved person by God and created by God with God's image. So when I say I love God but I don't love my neighbor, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all. That's what Jesus said. So as psychotherapists and counselors, what are you going to do? We are supposed to love people because we love God. God loves those people. God loves those people and loves me too. God loves me and God loves those people too. As Christian mental health professionals, we are concerned about the dignity and needs of each individual, whether they are clients, colleagues, employees, students, research subjects, or others we work with. A client is far more than a diagnostic label. An employee is more than a hired hand. An employer is not just a boss. A professional colleague is not to be viewed solely as a competitor. All are the people created in God's image. All are people of worth in God's eyes and in our words as well. Okay? Because I'm CEO, can I treat my employees in the wrong ways? I can. I'm not supposed to. I need to be fair. I need to be justice. I need to be right. When I work with my colleagues and my employees, even though I'm paying for them, even though they are living by jobs I give, but those people are still God's people, whether they are Christians or not. It's ridiculous that Christians are loving each other, Christian communities loving each other well, but they are separated with others and they don't love others. They look down on others. They are Christians, but they are doing something they are not supposed to do. Number 6, autonomy. Autonomy refers to the therapist's responsibility to ensure clients' rights to make their own informed decisions and actions. Part of the task of the therapist is to help clients learn how to consider various options and make their own decisions. Obviously, there are limits to this principle, as when the client is a child or is someone who is unable to make competent choices. Though autonomy is a principle developed mostly out of the emergence of democratic scientists, it is not without foundation in Christian thought. So long as by autonomy one means the ability to self-manage, self-control, or self-discipline rather than to be self-willed. An important aspect of disciplined autonomy is recognizing how one's own actions affect others. Autonomy means is that, okay, I'm a psychotherapist, there is a client, and I analyze what's going on to the client. And I can, okay, you do this, you do that. Well, can I do that? Yes and no. When is no? When the person is self-conscious and the person can make, his or her own decisions, and the person has the ability to do that, and I can just, show the best way, or the best way, but who's going to make the decision? The client. It's not avoiding my responsibilities on the client as psychotherapist or counselor, but because I respect my client's right, okay, and I understand that I'm not director, but helper, supporter, analyzer, and information giver or something. Okay? So when the client has the power to decide this and that, and ability to do that, I can direct the person, you do that. Okay? But when is yes, the client is a child, and the client doesn't have ability to decide kind of, you know, right decisions. I mean, act of ability to make decisions, like because the client has mental disoriented or the mental problems or kind of handicaps in many ways or in a way, then the client doesn't make decisions. Then I can help. Maybe I can suggest the best way, okay? Or I can suggest or order and get help to support the client right way, okay? So there is a yes and no on autonomy. But basically, when we have kind of regular, I mean, the clients who can make their own decisions, we don't want to just break or weak their ability to make their own decisions. It's not because of the responsibilities I mentioned earlier. Number 7, concern for community. We are called to recognize the larger community in which we and those we counsel live. The New Testament emphasis on koinonia, fellowship illustrates God's concern with healthy community. Our counselees live as part of the larger communities, nuclear family, extended family, church, neighborhood, God's word. Decisions that are made affect others as well as oneself. When a client ends a marriage, for example, it has repercussions that reach far beyond just the individual and the spouse. So we want to just consider the community, and then the client is not the only one, but the client is in the community, and lots of people are in the community. Maybe the clients, big team or veterans, and in the community or something like this. So we need to consider the community. And then our communities. We want to have close relationships, or even though that is not close, we have a certain level of relationships with others, so we need to consider that. Children are affected, of course, but so are extended family, friends, and associates. Therapists should be sensitive to the needs of the larger body in which the person lives. So that means we need to remember the client, and helping the client means helping the family, or helping the client in their family, okay, in his or her family, in his school, let's say he's a guy, in his school, in his working places, and we need to consider those communities too. Okay, and though encouraging individual autonomy should also assist the client in understanding how his or her behavior may or may not affect others. A sensitivity to community also has implications for the therapist. It implies that therapists should not practice in isolation, but in Christian counseling of ethics, the context of the larger community. This community provides supporting and accountability for the professional. The wider community is both a source of substance, substance and a group to which one is responsible. Okay. So when we help a client, we need to consider the client's community, family, job, working place, schools, or the town, and then we need to think what kind of effects from the clients got from the client's family, working places, and schools or whatever, because the client is surrounded by lots of communities and groups. So, and at the same time, the client can affect to the client's communities. So we need to consider and think about what the client is supposed to do. Okay, without considering that, I want to just help my client only. It doesn't work. As you know, okay. Even I used to have couples because helping couple means two people, husband and wife, or boyfriend and girlfriend. Then one person is in a group in a family, or kind of two people is in a group. Okay, if I say two is a group, a couple. Okay, so helping one person affects to the other. Okay, so then I need to consider the couple, not only one person. Okay, if they have children, and I think consider those children at the same time. So because the couple can make nasty things, the couple's children can be affected by it. I got a news today morning. A Japanese mom, actually Japanese couple, just abandoned 3 years old girl, or I think that's a girl. Their daughter, her daughter, 3 years old daughter, for 8 days, and they traveled here and there for 8 days. And she said she used, her daughter used to play by alone, well, so they thought she'd be okay. Can you believe it? She died hunger. Can you believe it? It's a homicide. All people can know that if I don't care, 3 years old girl in a house, locked in for 8 days, apparently I know that 3 years old girl must be vulnerable. Do you think 3 years old girl can cook rice, noodle, and eat, go market? See? Hey, covenantal relationships. The Old Testament concept of a covenant is more than a contract. So God made covenants with Israelites and his people. It's more than a contract. It establishes a trustworthy relationship between humankind and God. So when God gave Israel the 10 Commandments, God didn't just give them 10 commandments. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so 10, okay? No. He explains why he makes that kind of covenant and why he's giving 10 commandments to his people. It starts like this. I am your God, and I saved you out of Egypt, which means I am your Savior. Because I saved your life, You do this. You do this for me, not only for me, you do this for your parents, family, neighbors, societies. Okay? Because I saved you. It forms the basis of the Old Testament ethic. Okay? Likewise, trust and fidelity are essential to the therapeutic relationship. Without them, the relationship is unlikely to be beneficial. Trustworthiness encompasses keeping promises, being faithful, and remain loyal. So when we have clients, we are supposed to trust each other, or they're not gonna open their hearts to you, and they're not gonna tell you everything. And I can and we can give them right services, counseling, so psychotherapies. So we need to form trust. So that's also called the WAPO. So we need to form the WAPO, the familiarity, or kind of basic relationship in trustworthy plus trustworthy. Okay, we can start with the rapport, forming the rapport, and at the same time we need to have not only contract. We write contracts. But at the same time we think we Christian counselors and psychotherapists are supposed to take a contract as our covenant. The trustworthiness. Okay. I think I don't know. We want to just do resume from 9 to the next week. So we're gonna finish the rest of it and then move on to the third class.